This is what your kids are seeing if you're allowing them unrestricted access to YouTube. And yes, even YouTube kids. And before you think I'm here to shame you or call you a bad parent, I promise I'm not. I myself have fallen into this trap of letting my kids watch YouTube and it spiraling out of control too many times. And if you too are worried about the world we're leaving to our children, well then it looks like your algorithm brought you to the right place. I'm the mom behind the mask. Welcome. And today I'm lifting the veil on what YouTube is showing your kids. Today I will show you what YouTube is showing your children when you're not around, how it's affecting them, and truthfully, how it's making them unbearable to be around. So let's set the scene. Your kid asks you to turn on a video of Peppa Pig. A familiar video of the cartoon comes up, and they watch it while you're making breakfast, getting something done around the house, or let's be honest, take a nap.
What do you say? Thank you very much, Peppa.
And another Peppa Pig video will autoplay after this one. One like this, where unless you're paying very close attention to the graphics or the sounds, you wouldn't realize is not an actual Peppa Pig video. The dead giveaway is the watermark here in the bottom corner. And here's where you'll notice the graphics and the sounds are slightly different. Take a listen. And what ends up happening in this video is there's an alternate mother and son who's going to trick Peppa's dad basically into cheating on the mom and bringing in the new family to replace this one. There's a little bit of violence, a little bit of acting out, and it's not anything so extreme that it might stand out to you as a parent. And your child seeing one of these videos probably isn't the biggest deal until it becomes a habit. But then the way that YouTube's algorithm reacts to this starts to get pretty scary. Once they get through a few videos like the first one, a few videos like this one, they start to end up on videos like this. And this isn't just with Peppa Pig, okay? This is with any kind of cartoon character, anime character, superhero, anything you can think of that's directed towards kids. There are channels who are turning them bad, right? And here's where I kept messing up with my kids. For a long time, I would find them on these videos and I would say, okay, we're not doing YouTube anymore. I would stop YouTube for a while and we would have discussions about how to notice these types of videos before actually watching them. For instance, like being able to notice that the thumbnails would have Peppa's face, but Peppa would be scary, right? Or Peppa would have a scary look on her face or a mean look on her face. And so when I felt like my kids could recognize these types of videos, I thought, okay, well, they can recognize them, so they're not going to watch them. But I was wrong, because kids become desensitized to these things and they start to enjoy them. Even if they're scaring them, they still like them for some reason. I mean, it's just like us. When we were kids, we were attracted to R-rated movies. I know I was watching R-rated movies before I was the quote-unquote legal age. This is just human nature to want to watch things that we're not supposed to. And ultimately, it's not up to our small kids to protect themselves from what they can see online. It's up to us. And if this scenario seems familiar to you and your house so far, then you're going to want to stick around for this next part. If this is a regular thing for your household and for your kids, I'm going to assume just a few things about your kids. I'm going to assume they don't have a high attention span. They have a hard time focusing and sitting still. They have angry outbursts, temper tantrums regularly. And all around, you're just having a difficult time getting them to listen. Well, that's pretty similar to what I was experiencing. And the data backs it up too. Children who spend a lot of time on screens, the more screen time a kid has, the more likely they are to develop anxiety, ADHD. They have lower attention spans. They do not perform as well in school. They have a lot of behavioral problems. And I know in my own experience, my children were behaving completely different when I was allowing them to watch YouTube. It got to the point where I would wake up at 6 a.m. and one of my kids would already be in the living room watching YouTube with the volume turned all the way down so that I couldn't hear it. She would turn on YouTube in the middle of the night and be watching it, and then would lie to me about it. She was having a difficult time focusing on her schoolwork, was having a hard time focusing on doing anything really. My kids were fighting all the time. And of course, kids fight. Kids are not perfect. They're going to have a hard time paying attention to things, a hard time sitting still, a hard time doing certain things. But you know your kids, right? And I guarantee you, if you give it just a week of not letting them watch YouTube, you would notice a huge, significant difference in the behavior and the attitude and the overall happiness of your child. At least I did. The reason this fosters such negative behavior in children, especially if they're watching YouTube shorts and TikToks, is because it's a constant rotating door of dopamine hits. And YouTube and TikTok's autoplay features are made to keep us watching. How many times have you gotten on TikTok and then before you know it, you realize an hour has passed? For a child, that is amplified. And for those of us as an elder millennial here who didn't grow up with short form content readily available, we were able to develop those natural stopping cues that tell us, okay, the video's over, we can put it down. Right? And even us, those who have fully developed brains, still get lost in the cycle of short form content. Now imagine what our children are feeling when they have not been able to develop those natural stopping cues and get sucked into this world of dopamine and addictive videos. And if you think these are not addictive, and if you think that this type of content is not going to foster addictive tendencies that are later in life going to manifest into other addictions for these children, you are mistaken. We think we know iPad kids now. We've seen nothing yet. We have yet to see the repercussions that short form content, that having children with underdeveloped brains watching short form content and even long form content, the overstimulation that it offers, how that's going to impact them in the long term. So when we're telling our kids, hey, put your tablet down and go clean up your room, and they start having a complete mental breakdown because they have to put down their tablet, but then they get up and do it, and then in 5 minutes they're done, and we go in there and it's just not finished. It's literally because, first of all, they're so addicted to their tablet, they're so addicted to their phones that it's all they can think about. It's the only thing they want to do. And secondly, they quite literally cannot focus on one thing long enough to get the task done. I recently did a video on a teacher who went on TikTok to more or less call out how technology is ruining kids. And in that video, I show you how many teachers are telling us your kids are unteachable, your kids are unruly, your kids cannot behave properly, your kids cannot read, your kids cannot comprehend simple tasks because their brains are not developing properly. Yet a lot of these teachers end up getting so much backlash. And even someone as myself, I've always talked about how I homeschool my kids and I have my own issues and questions with the school system. Don't you think we should be listening to the people who are literally spending 8 hours a day with our kids, often spending more time with our kids than we are? Shouldn't we be listening to them when they're saying, look, there's a problem and we need to get to the root of it? When we're shoving an iPad in our kids' face, when we're sitting them in front of the TV to watch YouTube, we are hurting them. And look, I'm not one to say, don't ever let your kid get on a phone or a tablet or watch TV or any of that. It's convenient and it's easy, and sometimes it's necessary, okay? I've got 3 kids. I know myself. But what I'm saying is when we're letting our kids just go down these rabbit holes of content, unregulated, unsupervised, it will be their demise and it will be our fault. So what do we do? Well, I think it's up to you. Whatever you can implement, want to implement, and can actually stick to is what you should do. Now for me in my house, besides sometimes using YouTube as a teaching tool, it just doesn't exist for my kids. The other day I looked up, why does a tornado happen? And we watched a video on it, and that's about the extent of it. After I've seen how their attitudes have improved, their attention spans have improved, I can't go back. I can't go back. But let's take a deep breath. I know this is a heavy topic, and my purpose was not to shame you, but to inform you on what YouTube is showing your kids and how it's impacting them. If you're still here, I thank you for watching. Please comment below your thoughts and subscribe if you like.